Welcome to the final episode of Saving Monica. It's been a long journey and a lot of work. The next and final step is the sale. So let's see how our marketing strategy worked for us and how everything ended up. As a result of the marketing strategy developed for Monica, I decided to target a buyer looking for their first home. One that likely has pets, maybe a small family or just a couple. One that is looking to live in an urban environment or to live that lifestyle. Although I am certainly open to any buyer that falls into any description, this is how I decided to formulate and target my strategy. Right away, a sign was placed in the yard to announce to the community that Monica is for sale. At the same time, I got those professional real estate photos I was telling you about in episode Saving Monica number 8. From the very beginning of the project, we worked towards developing a clean, bright, and technically sound product, something as close to new construction as we could get. In the process of doing so, I personally spoke to every neighbor on Monica Drive and made them aware of what we were doing, our intention of selling, and while also inviting anyone at any time the opportunity to come and visit us and tour the property at their leisure. Postcards also went to each neighbor echoing my invitation and encouraging their participation in locating their own neighbor of choice. Obviously, the property was marketed through MLS and participating national and local websites. Because of the age of the original construction, my narrative emphasized the newness of the property, from the electrical and plumbing to many additional upgrades and the adjustment to the floor plan to compete with newer, more modern construction. Besides utilizing marketing vehicles such as MLS, the for sale sign, and postcards to the neighbors, I also put together an email campaign that was directed to those realtors in the community that I knew that worked with buyers and particularly first-time home buyers. And I targeted mortgage brokers that I knew worked with first-time home buyers. While this was all put in motion, I was also preparing what I call a commercial video short, specifically for the social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I call this a video short because my intent is to provide both the video and oral description of the property while also inviting the viewer and their friends to the open house, or to an open house, all done within 45 seconds. But while actually shooting for the video, I started getting calls from potential buyers. My seller ended up accepting a contract in excess of the list price that very afternoon. Now for me, my next two concerns, which are always concerns for me whenever I'm selling any property, is getting through the due diligence and financial due diligence periods. Prior to any seller I am working with accepting any offer, I do everything I can to vet that buyer. I will take the time to not only review every part of the purchase and sale agreement and review any of the stipulations included, but also contact the buyer's mortgage broker. Every financing vehicle means something different. Whether you are working with me for the sale of your home or another agent, I strongly encourage you as a seller to make sure your agent properly vets that buyer or buyers and explains to you in excruciating detail the pros and cons of every offer so you can make the best decision for you and your family. Not every mortgage broker will divulge the same amount of information, but most everyone appreciates the call and will give you some indication of the buyer's strength. In this case, after my call to the buyer's broker, I clearly got the impression that we had the green light. The buyer asked for, which is within their right, to get a property inspection. This was going to be my report card on how well I had done rehabbing this property during the last few months. It is impossible for me to be absolutely sure how things were going to come out, but if you will recall from my prior videos, every time I made a technical decision, I always did so with the inspector and appraiser in mind. My team and seller were all ecstatic to learn after the buyer's professional property inspection the only technical issues to address were very minor and only took me minutes and a few cents to resolve. And the appraisal, well, it came back at the offer price, so everybody was happy. And for that, I'm grateful. Managing both sides of the project takes a lot of help. The immediate community surrounding Monica, or any rehab project for that matter, the community is instrumental in making it a success. The community must put up with a lot. Noise and strangers coming and going out of the neighborhood, increased traffic, and those unsightly trash dumpsters, just to name a few things. Unfortunately, construction sites always seem to attract thieves to neighborhoods. For this reason, I'm quick to try and involve the community the best I can to keep watch on the property during our downtime. One trick I've learned over the years that I think will serve anyone well is that I collect all kinds of balls and bats and any kind of athletic equipment and give those out freely to the kids in the community. I also encourage them to come and play in the yard. If I can pitch a few innings of wiffle ball or play a few downs of football, then all the better. I invite the kids after our hours, their activity in my yard. Kids have good eyes and ears. Fortunately, over the years, I've had no major problems. I have gotten reports back on neighbors snooping around after hours, or who might be using my trash dumpster for personal use, or who might be cutting through the yard. But like I said, kids have good eyes and ears and have always seemed to have a sense of loyalty. Whether my methods help prevent the potential problems, I don't know for sure. But so far, so good. It's been working for me, so I figure I'll continue on that path. Fortunately, we sailed through the due diligence periods. But before we reached the day of closing, I had an open house and invited the community just to share a refreshment and say thank you. We reached the day of closing without incident. We were able to accomplish everything we had set out to accomplish. We were able to take a house that was in severe disrepair and make it serviceable and a home for someone again. For a few months, employment was provided to the team, and subsequently the investment turned a substantial profit for the seller. And I was able to document this experience as an educational tool for you. Everybody wins. So before we conclude this series on Saving Monica, let's take a moment and go back and look at where we started and then how we ended. Well, that's it. It has been a long, long journey. I sincerely hope this video series on Saving Monica was helpful to you, the viewer. I first want to thank my seller for the opportunity and their confidence in me to manage a project. I can easily say it has been a privilege to serve you and enjoy working with you. I also wanted to thank my team Ellie and Ellie Construction, Carrillo Remodeling, Robert Austin for general maintenance, Squaresoft Restoration, Leonardo Hoya for the plumbing work that he did. I cannot forget Andy and Michael at Priority Electric. Hey, you all took my vision and made it a reality. Next week I'll be back creating and providing you with new and interesting content to help you become the best buyer and seller of real estate that you can be, so you can also make the best decisions for you and your family. Remember to subscribe and don't forget to ring that bell so you are notified once new content is posted. And let me hear from you. Your suggestions for content and questions is always appreciated. Thanks again for watching my Jedico Properties YouTube channel. If we don't meet again right here real soon, then maybe on the golf course. Until next time, if you're looking to sell, good luck with your sale. If you're looking to buy, well, happy house hunting.